Hello, Guilty Feminists, this is Deborah. People always say that the fifth character in Sex and the City is New York. Well, in The Guilty Feminist, I'd say the audience are the extra co-host. This has never been more true than in this episode from York. At times more of a raucous town hall than a traditional Guilty Feminist. It was recorded during our 2022 UK tour, so we have essentially one extra guest, and in a first, an unexpected stand-up set from the audience. God, this show was absolutely riotous. And I believe a top-notch bit of banter with a man in the audience, who I was obviously encouraging to become a better feminist. This is made all the better by the amazing co-stars, barnstorming performances, and a fascinating insight into the world of dualism. I really hope you enjoy listening, and we'll see you next week with a brand new episode. I'm a feminist, but... Hello, York! We're back! We're back inside of you, York, and it's wonderful to be here. I'm a feminist, but very recently I had a bad experience in a fitting room where I was trying to buy something that didn't look as good as I needed it to, and I got a bit upset. And then when I left the shop, I was walking away, and the woman who'd been serving me ran out of the shop after me like I'd left something behind. And she came up and went, "I just need you to know that you're a really beautiful woman. And I just need you to know, but I need you to hear it and I need you to believe me." And she looked into my eyes and I hugged her. And all I could think was, oh my God, I hope she doesn't recognize me. Like, oh, she's going to go back and say to her friends, like, I met her, but she's not what you'd think. Like, everything she tells us to do, and she's like, all those lovely, wonderful things. She's not like that. She's just crying on the floor of a fitting room like all of us. It's just disappointing. I say recently, it was this morning.
I'm a feminist, but sometimes I resent how empowered Gen Z women are. Largely because I really feel jealous and that it's not fair that I had to spend my teens and 20s making a mountain of toilet paper in a loo because of how mortifying the thought was of another woman even hearing the trickling tinkle of your wee-wee. And then you find out that the new generation of women couldn't give a shit about... They're so empowered that they'll be like, does anyone want to borrow my moon car? It's massive! And I feel the valley of levels of empowerment between me and them is too deep.
I absolutely agree. And the way they love their bodies.
Yeah.
Cough.
Absolutely disgusting.
Like, they just love all of their bodies. I'm learning from them, but resentfully.
Well, of course they love all of their bodies, because their bodies are 12. What's not to love? I should have gone for an older age there, I think. I thought you meant you resented... This bit's improvised.
I thought you meant you resented, like, 21-year-olds. Not,
yeah,
I didn't know it was children.
Do you know?
I retract this, I'm not with her.
No, and Gen Z, I just checked, it's 10 to 24, so it wasn't as inappropriate as it sounded.
Just give us a cheer for Gen Z.
There's no 12-year-old out there with jowls.
Give us a cheer for Gen Z, yeah. Listen to how empowered those cheers are.
Yeah.
It's delightful, please. We want it. We want to drink your blood.
Yeah, it is. I just envy it. Sorry, I finished.
I'm a feminist, but... So I'm recently single, right? And I found that, like, if I see that a man is losing interest in me, I'll let him explain crypto to me. That usually just gets it all back up.
I have done that more than once with the offside rule.
It's the best. It's like, oh, you don't like what I said? I don't get NFTs. Tell me.
I'm a feminist, but... Earlier on today in the dressing room, I think I did body shame Taylor Swift. I know, not in the way that you're thinking, but...
Jen says are gasping.
I know. I've lost the room already. But I was talking about how she used to be the love of my life. And Deb said, why is she no longer the love of your life? And I said, because I found out she's way too tall. And being a short king, I just couldn't live like that.
I still believe it's going to happen.
Doesn't that just mean you're like the perfect height for motorboating?
I don't get that joke. The perfect height for what?
We'll draw you a diagram backstage.
I cannot believe
Can you explain this to me? I'm a feminist, but can you explain it to me backstage? Because I think it's rude.
We'll see how the night goes.
Motorboating! Oh! I've just understood it.
Yeah, because, I mean, everyone in this audience was like, surely not with a rack like that, Deborah. You must be at least book smart on it.
I don't actually have...
Fuck off.
They're a small D. They're a D minus. I'm telling you. And for my frame, they could be...
Pass at GCSE. Is it my turn?
It's your turn, babe.
I'm a feminist, but... When I bought my first car, guys... First person in my family to buy a new car. Literally the most shameful thing that my father could think of as a used car salesman. And he is everything you're thinking is. And racist. When I was signing the paperwork, the man selling the car to me says, so what title should I put down? Miss, Mrs. or Ms? And I said, Ms. And he said, oh, you look a bit young for that. And what I should have said was, for what? Feminism? But what I said was, thank you.
Are we ready to start the show? And welcome to the Guilty Feminist York! Big round of applause for Jessica Foster Q, Grace Petrie, Celia A.B. and Kiri Pritchard-McLean, four incredible women we'll be seeing a lot more of this evening. Now this is the bit where this goes on a bit, if I'm honest. I feel like we should start playing it a bit later. There you go. Hello, York. Look, we're back in person. And here we are. I want to touch somebody. Thank you. Don't worry, it's not a biblical healing. But I do have an incredible cape. Not all superheroes wear capes, but a lot of us do. And I wear this mostly because I want you to feel you've had your money's worth. You know, you've come out. Some of you have booked a babysitter. I want to make an effort. If you want one of these, Despicable Daisy on Etsy, I'm not advertising for her, just people ask, people tweet every night, I'm saving you time. Just give us a cheer if you listen to The Guilty Feminist. Give us a cheer if you don't know what you're at. Okay, notice how those cheers do sound less feminist. And less empowered. That is very true. So this is a podcast about our noble goals as 21st century feminists and our hypocrisies and insecurities which undermine them. That's right, my friends. And tonight, we are here recording live in York. We're very, very, very excited to be here. I wanted to start the show by asking, has anybody done an act of feminism recently? And I ask this with a caveat. I'm going to ask you for an act of feminism that you would feel would intimidate nobody. An act of feminism that anyone in this room could leap over. An act of feminism that will encourage others to say, I can definitely do better than that. Has anyone done such a mini act of feminism they'd be happy to tell us about? Oh. Okay, you got your 13-year-old son to stop being a dickhead. Could I ask further questions? Already they're very happy about it. In what ways was this dickheadery manifesting itself? Yes.
He's very, very into her and wants her to spend all of her time with him. So when they spend time in a group, he is kind of monopolizing her time together. She messaged him to say, hey, I like you, but I also like my friends, and we can do both. And he basically immediately started telling her that he felt really terrible and he was such a bad boyfriend and cried. And I told him he was being a dickhead and he needed to...
So, just for the people at home, what's your name? Emmy. Emmy just told a story that her 13-year-old son got a girlfriend, was dominating her time. She politely texted and said, I need to spend time with other people as well. He cried and said, I'm a terrible boyfriend. And Emmy said, stop being a dickhead. I want to hug him a bit, though. anyone else want to hug him a bit? I feel like no. Women down here are saying no hugging. He needs to know. Has he sort of gone now? Okay, I see. And is he being more balanced?
He has, and then she messaged him to say, "You're not talking to me enough, so now."
Oh my God. Oh my God. He did, and now she texted and said, "You're not talking to me enough." And what is he doing now?
Trying to be as nice as possible and set reminders on his phone.
And now this child is trying to be as nice as possible. He's setting reminders on his phone. I'm a feminist, but I'm totally on his side. Like, I'm 100% with this boy who is. I do feel we need to be, But listen, well done in saying, like, it's not all about you. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to give as well as take. That's a great thing. But also make sure that he knows that he's allowed things too. Like, he can break up with her if he wants. You don't think that will happen? They're going to get married. They're 13 and done. Well done, Yorkshire. What was the other one? You made a poster about how to go for a wee in the wild? People loved that one. I think that might be the most perfectly pitched one I've ever heard. Because sometimes people go... we were recently in Canterbury, and somebody put up a hand and she said, "I've just co-founded." I said, "I'm going to stop you there, because that's intimidating immediately. Most people will never co-found anything, okay?" And then sometimes people say, like, "I only shaved one leg." And I feel like is it an act of feminism, really? I think that's perfectly pitched. We all feel it's accessible, but none of us thought to do it. It's lovely. So why did you make this poster? Is this for women and other people who are sans penises to squat?
It's much harder. I mean, the poster is for everyone, but it's much harder to wee outdoors if you have to fully take your bottom half off and squat. And also if you menstruate, it's much harder. So we work with teenagers in the outdoors, so I made a poster to teach those teenagers. So it's on the back of the door, so they don't have to ask the question. They can read about it before we then take them out for the day into the wild.
Okay, so just to say for the listeners at home, it's a lot harder if you're a person who has to squat and or menstruates. So there's a poster on the back of the door. Now, does anyone have any follow-up questions here? Because I do. What's best practice? I really wish we didn't have a guest tonight now, because I feel like this would be the dream. Wouldn't it? I have follow-up questions as to what's best practice. What should I be doing? Should I be called upon to urinate rurally? If that were a thing. I'm not a very rural person, I'll be honest. I'm not very, I'll go for a walk in the country and enjoy that very much, especially in lovely Yorkshire. Love it, absolutely. But I won't walk very far from a lavatory. I'll walk in a lavatorial radius. Does anyone else feel that? Yes, absolutely. If you just give us a cheer if you're the kind of person that needs to know how to urinate further away because you might go wild. There's a lot of people who need your services. I feel like I don't know how easy it is for you to get to me, but I feel like I want to hear with the mic. Is there any chance you could come down and I could sit on the edge of the stage? Now, I'll come down. I don't think it's easy for you to get up, but... Oh, is it? Oh, great. There's stairs there. Excellent. Come forward. What's your name? What's your name? Jill. Big round of applause for Jill, everybody. Okay. You're wearing a feminist T-shirt. Tilly Takeover 2022 Women's Edition. What's that?
It was a women's skydiving event to encourage women into skydiving because...
Of course it was.
You've skydived.
I have skydived.
But you might have noticed you probably had a male instructor, a male pilot, a male cameraman. There aren't that many women in the world of aviation. So this event was to encourage more women to do that as well.
Absolutely wonderful, because it's true. The whole crew were men, and they kept making jokes that were like, they were jokes that were like...
They were funny in the 80s.
Yes, absolutely. What a great way to describe their jokes. Funny in the 80s. It was things like, they were joking about how sometimes Mike doesn't open the parachute if he's feeling, it's sort of not like sometimes he doesn't, but like we've all been waiting for the day he's not going to open the parachute. He's been really down today. His dog died. And I'm like, if you're strapped to Mike, which I was, that is not that hilarious. I'll be honest. You're just like, please stop saying it. And I was like, ha ha ha. Okay, you really have to stop now. And they wouldn't. They thought they took that as a cue, like a little brother, to escalate the jokes. So I'm delighted you're doing that. Do you jump out of planes?
Yeah, I've done about 700 skydives.
Could I do one with you?
I'm not an instructor, but I do have friends who are women that you could go and skydive with.
Really? I could do a lady drop.
Yeah, with a lady. So we had a lady pilot and everything.
Did you? So the whole crew? Could we do a Guilty Feminist sort of collaboration? Because I would jump again. I absolutely loved it. You were so interesting that we've got you here to talk about one thing, and we're actually talking about another. Just come and sit down. Stuart's saying we don't have time. Oh no, he's not. He's saying have a microphone. Come and sit down, Jill. Is he bringing us a microphone? I don't know. We will have no. Okay, let's just keep going. Okay, so now you're up here. Is there any way we could demonstrate? Thank you so much, Stuart. What's the way to pee in the wild if you're a woman or another sort of person who needs to squat?
So the first thing you need to do is to find a sheltered position.
Sure.
So
Key.
behind a wall or a bush is good.
Yes.
And then, important things to consider, put your bottom downhill of your feet.
Oh.
So you don't end up in a puddle.
Great tip.
Or, if you're someone who wees standing up, you have to think about the wind direction, because you don't want it to blow up back at you.
Thus the idiom pissing in the wind.
And then you have to squat, which is the hardest bit of the whole process.
Okay, you're in a denim skirt, so you may not want to show us now. But what's the deal with that?
You need to squat to get your bottom as far back as possible, so you don't wee on your own clothes and your own shoes. So you might also want to, we put on our poster, that you might want to pull your clothes forwards a little bit as well.
So it's clothes forward, bum back.
Exactly.
But downhill the wrong way.
Yeah.
I already see a scene in a sitcom that's beginning...
So you can. If there's a handy tree, you might want to brace yourself against a tree for some support.
Okay, so squat and brace.
Yeah.
Okay. These are very useful suggestions for all the people who cheered and said they would be peeing outdoors. I will never be doing this, Jill. Like, never.
Skydiving, but not weeing in the wild.
I would rather pee falling out of a plane, honestly. I am not at all interested in peeing outdoors, but I am interested in feminism. Yep. Some of these people here are natural campers. And it's why they live in beautiful Yorkshire, no doubt.
So we put the poster on the internet.
Yes.
For anybody to download for free, so they can all have the advice.
Oh, great. Okay, so where do we go if we want to see the pictures and the diagrams?
You go to the Cranedale Centre website, which is cranedale.com.
Cranedale.com.
That's my colleague cheering me.
Yes, great.
And you have to find the download section, and it's in the student downloads, because we work with lots of young people.
Feels like you've buried it quite deep. I feel it should be on TikTok with videos.
Can you tell that the top of our business is not females?
Oh, okay. So what we're going to need is some of you funky Gen Zs to make TikTok videos where you extract this information but direct people back to their website. Will anyone volunteer to do that? Look at our Facebook page. Okay.
Cranedale Facebook page. It was
Cranedale. How do we spell that?
Like the bird, the crane.
Yeah.
And then Dale, like the Yorkshire
Dales. Okay, great. So look at Cranedale. But if any young child person would make it into a TikTok video with, say, maybe turn it into a dance. These are just suggestions, gang. But I hear they're very popular on the Tik and the Talk. Jill, you've been phenomenal. Thank you very much. Bigger applause for Jill. We have never done that before. We've never, ever had anybody out before. But it was too good to pass up. Now, I'm going to need some help it's got to be a straight cisgendered man, and I'll tell you why. I've started trying out experimentally something called human Google. So say we need to know something really quickly, we ask human Google. And the reason it has to be a cisgendered straight man is I tried to get women to do it and they wouldn't interrupt. So I would come back to them ages later and go, did you find out? And they'd go, oh yes, but I didn't like to say because you were doing something else. Now what I've found is if I get a straight man to do it, he has absolutely no problem with just going, I found it, even if it's in the middle of a punchline. Doesn't care. So I'm going to need a man to volunteer, a straight man to volunteer, a man who likes to be right and doesn't mind interrupting. Any volunteers? Yeah, I've literally never had to wait longer than half a second. So you've said yes to that? You enjoy that? You enjoy those things? Okay, what's your name? Matthew. Okay, great. And Matthew, this is how human Google works. If you got a good reception in here, we just get you to Google things. But the reception's not very good in here, so it's like this instead. I'll ask you a question, Matthew, and you will answer with the first thing that comes into your head, but very authoritatively, and we will accept that as a fact. Because that's how Google works anyway, isn't it? Let's be absolutely honest. Just give us a cheer if you ever have to do research in your job. Give us a cheer if you accept what's on Google. That's how the world works now. So, Matthew, I will remember you. I will think of you as Matthew Perry, like Chandler. If I call you Chandler, that's one of your names now. So, Matthew, for example, who wrote A Room of One's Own? That's what we will now accept as fact. Of course, we know it was, in fact, Virginia Woolf, of course. But don't worry about that. And that was a really good guess. It could have been her. I think that was an educated guess, wasn't it? And we didn't say Dr. Seuss. You're an English teacher? Matthew! That's a horrific guess. That is... Sylvia Plath is rolling in her bell jar. I'm telling you that for sure. Now, Matthew, I'm shocked. Matthew, do you have any camera experience? Yes. Great, okay. So, two of our acts tonight, Kiri, Pritchard-McLean and Jessica Foster-Q, both need their set recorded for a really big, glamorous, fancy gig that they're up for. But they don't just want, me kind of going like that in the wings. They need a proper cameraman to come and film it for them on their phone. So, Matthew, that's you. And the reason that's you, normally I would obviously open it up to the crowd if anything like this happened, but because you're an English teacher who doesn't know the difference between... An English teacher who's obviously a feminist, because you're here. Are you in fact a feminist? Don't applaud him before he said he is. The bar is so low for men. He's here! He came! Oh, God! He's picked up his own baby! Oh, he's an amazing feminist! Stop applauding him, he didn't know Virginia Woolf! Jesus Christ, the bar is low for men. Matthew. Would you call yourself a feminist? You're trying. It's not the right answer, Matthew. If I were at a men's rights activist conference and someone pointed at me and said, are you a men's rights activist? I'd be like, yes, I fucking am. I love more rights for men. The confidence of a man to go... Not really. In this room, you could be killed. There's enough of us. If we just did a slight crush in your direction, no one would go down for it, Matthew. We wouldn't be... Now, Matthew, you're trying to be a feminist. You're doing your best. Are you? If one of your English students said they were doing their best, but they thought that Charles Dickens had written 50 Shades of Grey, would you be like, a B, fine, 6 out of 10? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, get out of my classroom. Go and come back when you know the name of the author, wouldn't you? Yeah, okay, great. So, Matthew, you are now in charge of filming. Have you genuinely had any experience filming? Photography, okay, but you think you can hold it? Well, you know the angle? You're overstating your credentials again, Matthew, and it's... Are you good? Okay. Does anyone think they're going to be better than Matthew? Yes? Is that a woman? Yes? You're going to be better than Matthew? Has anyone got video experience? Yeah, you have. Okay. All right. Jess, do you want it to be funny because it's Matthew, or do you want it to be good because this woman is a videographer? Good. Okay, what's your name? Ali. And you've done this before?
Only for work, not in a... She's been very...
Okay, Matthew just said yes. And it turned out he just takes selfies. Have you done this professionally? Only for work. That is the definition of professionally. That's what professionally means. I don't... women, really, we've got to sort this shit out. There's so much work to do. Roe versus Wade on the horizon, and we've got to be... Come on, people. All right, so Ali, have you done this professionally? Yes! Yes, you have. So, Ali, would you mind, I don't know, where would you like her, Jess? Just where she is. Stuart's saying where you are. But we've got to get your phone back to her, yeah? Yeah, okay. All right, feminism will get the phone back to you. The sisterhood will take it back. You're actually in a good place to shoot this, I think. Okay, can I have your phone? Stuart's doing it. The patriarchy's here. Okay. All right, so Stuart, where are you? I can't see, Stuart. What's happening? Yay! Come on, Stuart. All right, so that's where Ali is. Now, Ali, we need to know you are recording and you feel comfortable, because I don't want you going, oh no, I didn't really get it but I didn't like to say. I don't want that. Ali, who's your friend? Donna. Donna, you seem very authoritative when it comes to Ali. I'm sure you apologise left, right and centre for yourself, but you believe in Ali. So can you make sure, quality control, that if Ali doesn't know what she's doing, if something goes wrong, you just shout out, okay? Because it's important. This is feminism at work. Together we're going to get Jess Foster-Q an incredible job. A job that means she's going to get paid a lot of money and flown to a very glamorous location. A job that means she gets time off from her small child. Do we understand the stakes? Okay, all right. Are we ready? Is it going? Is it recording? Is it red? Oh, and she's put the light on. She does know what she's doing. Okay. Are you ready for some stand-up comedy? Then please welcome to the stage a guilty feminist absolute favourite, a legend. You will have seen her on QR, you will have seen her on Live at the Apollo, but now you are seeing her live here at the York Barbican. And the guilty feminists, put your hands together and make incredible woohooing noises for one of my very favourite comedians in the world. It's Jessica Foster-Q!
What a poppet! What a poppet! Seamless, very natural, seamless. Hello, York! It's nice to be back doing this again, isn't it? Yes, bit bloody lovely. So nice to all be squidged in all together en masse again. I think it is. I don't know if this is controversial, but I don't think that human beings were designed to be a bit scared for 2 years. Everybody's had a bonkers last 3 years. I've had an extraordinary amount of change in the last 3 years. It's about that time ago, I managed to leave a 9-year relationship. That's a happy thing. It had gone to crumbs, dust, not even the ghost of a friendship left in there. But it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to leave a 9-year relationship. Because after 9 years, everything's tangled up, isn't it? Finances were tangled up with him. I'd had a kid with him. Living situation was tangled up with him. Leaving him also involved leaving my sexuality as I then knew it. Social life tangled up with him. Work stuff tangled up with him. Still, I managed to leave that relationship. Why can't I leave a WhatsApp group? I can't. Eventually, it's going to have to get to the stage where I'm in them all. 9 years is a long time, though, to be out of the dating game, and it had changed. Crumbs alive, it had changed in 9 years. I hadn't expected it to go 100% online. I knew it might go like a load more online, because that's obviously the way the world is going, but not 100%, because young people in here won't know this, but in the olden days, if you met your partner on the internet, you were a freak. And now, it's the law. You've got to have a whole CV, haven't you? You've got to have a whole exhibition of photographs of yourself looking sexy during hobbies. You're not allowed, if you dare approach a stranger in real life. Young people, IRL. Say, at them something like, please, may I fancy you? They're allowed to ring the police. Online dating's a minefield as well, though. It's so complicated. There's so many issues with it. Dick pics, for a start. Everyone's getting pics of dicks they don't want. Oh, God, as if there could be a more glaring example of how feminism's work is yet to be finished, for crying out loud. Some comedian friends of mine are telling me they get upwards of 10 dicks they didn't ask for per week. That's so many dicks. That's so many pics of dicks. Unbelievable to me that there are still men in the universe who think she'd probably like a look at... No, what is... I can't believe that. But more troubling, perhaps, than all of that, is why have I never got one, though? And it's not an invitation. It's not an invitation, but it does, when it's apparently so prolific, it does make you think, oh, what vibes am I giving out? This is not like I don't get any contact from strangers. I do, but it's sort of, like the other week I got an email. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? I got an email. I got an email, right, from a man called Tony, and it said, Dear Jess, I really like some of your work. So I'm writing a short film and I'd like you to do a part of it to make it funnier. I've got a budget of £40. I need to talk to you about this today or tomorrow, Tony. And I found that so insulting. I'll be honest, I'd rather see a picture of his horrible little widge. That's awful. And I wish I could channel the confidence of younger women when it comes to online dating. I think I struggle with the fact that you're meant to be so sure of what you are and want, aren't you? And the confidence I'm very lucky. I've got two Gen Z sisters. I wish I could be as fierce as them. One of my sisters started university recently. Before she went, I took her for lunch, right? And nothing makes you feel old like when you catch yourself saying to a 19-year-old, so are you seeing anyone? You seeing anyone at the moment? And how cool is this? 19, she went, oh, God, no. She went, I find boys my age pathetic. She went, I'm just going to have like a hot girl summer. What is that? I've Googled it and I'm not sure anyone knows. But from what I can see, it looks exhausting. And I'm not sure if it's appropriate for me. I think perhaps I'm just going to aim for like a warm woman's spring. But with the old dating, I decided to try and be honest. I think you've got to try and be honest. But, I say that. I tried to be honest, but also I did also want to get picked. You don't get fancy, don't you get swiped up or whatever it is. I wanted to get chosen. I did want that, but how do you be honest about like having a young child and being a stand-up comedian whilst also making yourself sound like a catch? I'm available for sexy dates between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. My lexicon is so sanitised by parenthood that the other night I said goodbye to a taxi driver by going, night, sleep well. And the biggest slap round the face I got that dating was going to be different this time round, 9 years on with my life where it is now, was this, right? So historically, whenever I've been single, I've really enjoyed putting it about. Fucking loads of people. No shame in that, it's 2022. Borderline pride, arguably, I'd say. No one was harmed in the making of that fun. Yum, yum, in my vagina. But it's meant that once or twice in my life I've had to do the awkward but responsible thing of phoning someone up and saying, well, one of us has given the other one some kind of STI. It's embarrassing, isn't it? But it's the only grown-up thing to do. Well, this time round, I genuinely had to phone someone and say, I'm so sorry, but I'm pretty confident I've given you nits. Yeah. She's the one I'm engaged to now, so that's nice. Thanks. Amazingly, I am actually going to leave you on that. You've been so lovely. You've got the most incredible lineup. Have a lovely evening. Thank you particularly, Ali. Thank you. Good night.
Jessica Fost, everybody! And Stuart, in record time, has taken... How did the recording go? Do you think you've got it? Excellent. I feel like you should get a free drink or something, because I just realised we made you work during the show. And I don't want you to think you've been treated like a human tripod but it is feminism, because Jess Foster-Cube is probably going to get that job now because of you. She'll do some kind of shout out at that point to you on the podcast, and it'll come back to you in some way. But would you like a free drink? Okay. Is there a bar? There must be. It's the Barbican. It's fancy, isn't it? Yeah, the Barbican's posh, isn't it? No. In London, the Barbican's posh. Is it not posh in York? I was told it was posh, and that's why I came. I wouldn't have agreed if I'd known it wasn't posh. Who said that? Do you know what I don't like, though? I don't like is that... love it here, Barbican. Thank you. Have me back, please. And you've all been so lovely. But I don't like how high raised the stage is, because all the people sitting here in the front row, I know that what you have is the same view I have when I accidentally open my camera phone the wrong way and go, oh my God! Do I really look like that's how you... And I need you to know that I'm about 85% more attractive than you think. Jill, I'm more attractive up here, aren't I? Thank you. There you go. That's absolutely true. Although actually, Jill, how high are you? Because the people up there, I think, have that lovely selfie angle. Like that. When I'm very successful, I'm only going to play places with stalls in a dress circle, and the stalls will not be available for sale. Everyone in the dress circle. Is it Amy? Ali, sorry. I'm quite name dyslexic. It's the only thing I have a problem with. I get names mixed up, so you can't say anything. Ali, I got you a drink. It's Prosecco. Do you want that? Okay, great. Feminism will have to get it to you. The sisterhood will have to get it there. Could you please pass this back to Ali? Yeah. No, listen, I believe in the power of the sisterhood. But also, I thought Jill should have one, if Ali has one, because Jill actually, was a proper guest. To be honest, Jill should probably be paid, but I don't have that in my budget. So, where are you, Jill? Okay. Shall I throw it? Do you want to come down and get it, or could someone pass it back? Could you take it? Could you get that? Could the sisterhood get that to Jill? Thank you so much. Matthew, I would have got you one, but you didn't know Virginia Woolf, so I didn't. But I will get you one if you can name me 3 Virginia Woolf books. The stakes have just been raised for feminism. Matthew, are you still there? Has Matthew left? I don't care. That would be... I mean, I'd understand if he left at interval, and I think he will, but But he's an English teacher, I know, that's why I'm saying he should know 3 Virginia Woolf books. So, Matthew, Room of One's Own. Well, that's a cheater one, because that's the one you didn't know. I'm going to need 3... Go on, what are the other 2? The Lighthouse, yes. No champagne for you. Okay. And you human Google and everything. I mean, it's an outrage, Matthew. No, seriously, Matthew, we love you and we know that you will change. Hello, Guilty Feminists. This is Deborah, just popping in with a few quick announcements. We are coming to the Edinburgh Fringe. We're doing 3 shows at the Gilded Balloon in the museum on the 12th, the 13th and the 14th of August at 7:40pm. And we have an incredible lineup for you. On the 12th of August, Catherine Bohart and I will be talking to Helen Bauer, and there will be poetry from Vanessa Kasule, a favourite of mine. On the 13th of August, Kate Checker and I will be talking to Emma Siddy, and there will be music from Isabel Rogers. And finally, on the 14th, it will be me and Chloe Petts talking to Lara Racote with music from Katie Norris. As you can see, every show will be different, so why not come to all three? You can book now by going to guiltyfeminist.com and clicking on live shows. And speaking of shows, which are different every night, we're also producing the amazing storytelling show 16 Postcodes, which is at the Pleasance Courtyard every day at 3:30 p.m. Jessica Regan has lived in 16 different postcodes since moving to London from Ireland 20 years ago. And every day, audience members will help her to choose which stories she tells. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll rent, because you won't be able to afford to buy. If you've lived in any number of flats or postcodes, or you sometimes feel a bit adrift, this show is for you. To book tickets, go to edfringe.com and search for 16 Postcodes. And we'll be back in London on the 8th of September at King's Place as part of the London Podcast Festival. And our old friend Jessica at Foster Q and I will be talking to the very wonderful, very glamorous Dawn O'Porter about her new novel, Honeybee. Once again, for tickets, go to guiltyfeminist.com and click on live shows. If you want an ad-free version of this show, you can get it by going to patreon.com/guiltyfeminist and supporting us from as little as £2.50 a month. You can also do the same with Acast Plus or Apple Podcasts. And if you felt like leaving us a 5-star review, we would love you forever. It helps other people find the podcast, and that is a good thing. And now, back to the Guilty Feminist. Hello, York. Are you ready for the rest of the Guilty Feminist? Then please welcome to the stage, Deborah Frances-White. Hello. Matthew, did you come back? Yes. In which case, I am going to give you this glass, this coffee cup of Prosecco. Just because if you love a Matthew, let him go. If he comes back, he's yours. If he doesn't, lock the doors. Now, Matthew, would you like this? I've realised that I poured it quite quickly backstage and it's fizzy. I've realised that this is in Australia. If someone handed you this in Australia, you'd say, tide's out. The tide's out on this, I'm afraid. It's less than half full. But Matthew, less than half full is a famous quote from which Virginia Woolf? He's been Googling. The Waves, tide's out. That is correct, absolutely. Which book often goes with... Can you hand that to Matthew, please? Thank you. Or just you get it back to him somehow, through the power of feminism by passing it back. Thank you, yes. Oh, this is actually a good one for Human Google. Matthew, Human Google this. What is the first line of Mrs. Dalloway? Human Google, just say it with authority. We'll trust you. Doesn't have to be good, Matthew. Just has to be. Open the door. A woman immediately went, no. Just went, no, nothing like it. What is it, in fact? Mrs. Dalloway said she'd buy the flowers herself. That's correct. Mrs. Dalloway said she'd buy the flowers herself. I have recently realised that within my audience, we could name every Virginia Woolf book and probably do quite a lot of the first lines, because my audience is so erudite. I've realised this recently because a guest wasn't able to come on stage, and so I had to turn to the audience in, was it Reading? Reading. I had to turn to the audience in Reading and say, oh, who's got a feminist job? Like I was doing a bit of crowd work. What they didn't know was I was searching for guests. And then after they told me their feminist jobs, I was like, oh, would you like to come on stage? I mean, I told them at the beginning, just so they had a little time to prepare mentally, just enough time to ruin the full show for them. Then they came up and we had an absolutely incredible time. I want to start doing something called town halls, Guilty Feminist town halls, where we just try and solve a problem together with the small panel and the audience, because I think you actually know... Collectively, you will definitely know more than me and any comedians we've got here. I mean, not Matthew, but you, the rest of you. Would you be up for doing a town hall? Yeah. Because we're going to do one in London, but I'd really like to do one up north, because I think everything's done in London all the time. I don't know if you've noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed that London dominates this country in quite a frightening way. And I say this as someone with London privilege. we'd love to bring it to you if you'd like to have it. But my question is, how far would you go for a Guilty Feminist Town Hall? Would you go to Manchester? Some people have, when I've said the word Manchester, have acted as if I've said the seventh circle of hell. What was the response to Manchester? Okay, it takes 4 hours to get there from here. That's a fair objection. But I felt some of those were more emotional. They're more emotionally based. Is that because when things happen up north, they happen in Manchester? Yeah. What was that? Leeds. Wow. It's like I've said Expelliarmus. Leeds. Okay, are we doing Leeds, Stuart? Are we doing Leeds on this tour? No. Give us a cheer if you're from Leeds. And you know full well we're not going there because that's why you're here. Thank you. Okay. Pop down Leeds for the next tour, Stuart. Okay. Are you ready for the second half? We have a phenomenal stand-up comedian. You will have seen her on all the television shows there are. She is one of the best stand-up comics in this country, nay, the world. She is genuinely one of the funniest people I've met in real life. And I always love it when she has time to come on The Guilty Feminist because she's so busy off doing such glamorous things. So could you please put your hands together? That would be, yeah, like that. And make very excited noises. Break laws if necessary to welcome the incredible Kiri Pritchard-McLean.
Hey. Hi. Oh, York, thank you so much for having me. Absolutely love that Deborah was so confident to go on stage and just blithely start the War of the Roses again. That was a good moment for everyone, wasn't it? Manchester, I'd rather fucking die. Feeling quite self-conscious tonight. I had a big dinner before I go on stage. I never do that, and it is sitting on me in an unflattering trouser. So do know that I know. Okay. I've definitely lost, like the pandemic did for me. I've lost my sense of style. I completely lost what I was doing with myself. Because I mean, I'll be like most of you. I basically spent 2 years either in my PJs or my trackies, only really washing when I could smell my own fanny. That was the situ. The rest of the time I was endlessly doom scrolling through Instagram, being influenced things that I end up buying, and I end up buying things for a personality that I'll never have. Convincing myself, I will wear more feathers when the world starts again. And then it means that I just don't know how to... I'm trying to wear all those clothes and get some use out of them now that the world's open up again. And it basically means the other day I was like leaving my house. As you leave my house, there's a full-length mirror. I clocked myself in the full-length mirror. I was in a tankini in a balaclava. It's too much. It's too much for the co-op. Turn it in. I think I've got... I have a sense of style that I'm finding back again. I love anything shiny. I love a sequin. Catches the light very nicely. Helps you shoplift. I love a sequin. And a statement earring. The statement being, I don't fit in anything else in Topshop. That's the fucking statement. Classic fat girl stuff, that, isn't it? We've always got banging jewellery, handbags and shoes. Because you can't get too fat for those. I thought. Genuinely managed to chunk my way out of a pair of shoes in lockdown. That's a dark fucking day. There are a pair of heels, a bit like the ones I've got on now, where they've got like an ankle strap, right? I know I gave you a flash, but it was really quick because I was like, they probably saw my varicose veins then. I'm such a feminist, I'm not paying to sort them out. So they're ankle ones, right? And I went to do the ankle strap on them. And there was about an inch gap. And these had previously been my favourite shoes. And as I was down there, I thought, well, they must have shrunk in the wash. I don't know if you've ever Vaselined your own ankle, but it's not It's not ideal self-esteem-wise. I mean, I joke about Top Shot going under. I'm glad. I hope he drowns on his yacht, the tax-dodging cunt. I truly do. Woo! We've all got something from there, though, haven't we? And I don't know where to go now, because at Top Shot used to be my go-to place, right? And I'm in a difficult sort of situation. I'm in my mid-30s now, so I feel like I'm in a weird bit transitionally with my style. Also, I'm plus size. I've never been particularly welcome on the high street. Best case scenario, they give us one sad corner in the shop where they put our polyester thrush trousers and our waterfall cardigans. That's what they put there. I swear to God, it's different music that plays in that corner. I think it's whatever those 4 lads from the Titanic were playing as it went down. So when things opened up again, I was like, I'm going to treat myself, going to have a bit of retail therapy. So I went back, and I was trying desperately to find somewhere that would take my money. I was like, where do I go now? Where do I shop? I'm wandering up and down. I wandered into Urban Outfitters. Spoiler alert, it's not fucking there. There was a palpable tension in the air when I walked into Urban Outfitters. A frisson. The atmosphere when I walked into Urban Outfitters was like, have you ever been in a Greggs when a seagull wanders in? Film it. Film it. It thinks it's like us. Look at it with a bag of crisps on its face. Get out, it's going to shit everywhere. Oh, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so self-conscious. Everything in there is for people age and size 6. Standing there, one of the gorgeous member of staffs wafts over. I love the staff they have in Urban Outfitters. They've got them in Lush as well. They're gorgeous. They're the future. They're Gen Zs and they're stunning. They're all sort of quite androgynous looking. I've always wanted to flirt with androgyny. I've never been able to. But they're all stunning. They're like pansexual, polyamorous, non-binary nymphs. They're fucking amazing. And that's what I've always wanted to be like. I've always wanted to explore that side of myself, but I have to like over-femme myself because I'm a farmer's daughter, and it doesn't matter how many hot showers you have, that shit will always stink on you. I will always look like I can comfortably carry more than I weigh. On my wedding day, I've got to know that. This member of staff's waft over there, stunning. And they had, is it a septum piercing, that piercing there? Oh my God, it's so cool. I've always wanted one of those piercings, but I knew I couldn't get it, because if I got one of those piercings, everybody would ask me how the operation went. That's the wrong punchline to that. I just did the punchline to the next joke. It's because I got really excited about it. I was like, they're going to love the operation one. Good job I'm filming this for something important! I've got ADHD, so if you do have a problem with that, you hate neurodiverse people, so fuck you. What I was going to say is I look like a bull at a county show, but the moment's gone. Don't patronise me! No, don't patronise. It's not the Pride of Britain Awards. Wind your neck, kid. Come on. I don't know where I'm meant to go now. I don't know where I'm meant to shop. I was just wandering up and down, and I could hear beckoning me on the high street. Come in here, like a siren on the rocks. Come on in here. It's not just for aunties. Come on in. Come on in. Have you seen our Boxing Day sales? Come on in. It was next. You're a size 14 in here. Come on in. I know it's only a matter of time before fucking Bon Marché is patting the seat beside it. Come on in. Coming in here. Get a little cardigan to hide your back tits. You got a wedding coming up. Come on. Always imagine Bon Marché with a tab on for some reason. Pint of bitter as well. There's a few too many of those and tells you about hand jobs they gave to sailors when they were too young. That kind of thing. I love also gigging somewhere, and I mean this in the best possible way, York, shit enough to know what Bon Marché is. Yeah, because I'd been doing a lot of gigs down south. They do not know what Bon Marché is. Is it a farmer's market? And they have to hastily explain it. Oh no, it's a shop that does like flammable clothing for women who can't use trampolines anymore. you know what? I got extra self-conscious because on I started going on TikTok, right? Now, not on TikTok because I'm like too old, but I am fucking checking it every single day. Just watching in the shadows like a devious paedophile. Because I don't want to get left behind. Too late. It's already fucking happened, right? It's Gen Z. It's their app, isn't it? TikTok is absolutely their social media, and it's great. And I actually love Gen Z women in particular. They feel so much more empowered than we were, and they're so funny, and they really care about sort of social issues, and they're so bright as well. They're so educated. They really take in the world, and I absolutely love them. And one of their favourite things to do as well is rip the piss out of millennial women, which I was really enjoying it, because I look at millennial women that are all like, I can't adult till I've had a pumpkin spice latte, and I was like, yeah, dumb bitches. And then I watched one the other day. It was like, oh my God, what is it with millennial women? They're all obsessed with skinny jeans and side partings. And I was like, no. I really thought I'd be able to take it on the chin, but I'm a fucking sore loser. Just staring at my phone, and I went full, oh dear Jane, what a sad little life. Threw my phone away. I heard myself yelling at my phone on a double duvet. Listen, I'm not going to take advice from someone who doesn't remember 9/11 and Abby Titmus, so wind your fucking neck in. I'm in the wrong jeans. What a thing to find out. I've looked at the jeans they're wearing, and they wear mom jeans. It's fine if you have an ironic, lithe body. Every pair of jeans I put on are mom jeans. Because I have the body of a mother. That's how that works. Or they wear high-waisted jeans. I've tried high-waisted jeans. I look like an egg with legs. Skinny jeans. We hung up. Give me a cheer if you're a skinny jean wearer. Yeah, I hear you. I see you, millennial women. I also know we're not letting go of the skinny jean, right? Because we remember what came before it. It's the bootcut jean. And we're not going back. Because actually we've reclaimed and reappropriated the bootleg jean, haven't we? We now use it as a handy little red flag on menu meat that wear them. Bad news if you see a bootleg jean in the wild, isn't it? Especially if it's paired with a cowboy boot. That's the mission statement of a rapist. Do know that? Yeah. You smell dupe, ask for Angela at the bar. You're not fucking safe. There's men now nervously trying to tuck it into their socks before they go to the bar. Do you know what? Jean shopping is my worst one, because there's a part of my body I always have to negotiate with when I'm shopping, right? And it's this bit here. This bit here. Look at me turning to the side like you can't see it from the front. I call it my Prosecco paunch, and it's like a bum bag filled with sand that just hangs there. It's also known as a gunt. You might have heard that phrase, yeah. I love Gunt because it sounds like a lovely little German village, doesn't it? I had 2 weeks in Gunt. It was delightful. I like my Prosecco paunch. There's a few... Do you know what? Whenever I talk about Prosecco paunch, there's always a certain laugh in the room, and it's this. And I now recognise it's the laugh of a thin yoga woman. But if you don't have a Prosecco paunch, you don't have a gun, you don't know that there's some advantages to it. So I'm going to tell you about a couple very quickly. Number one, I don't want to be crass, but I can take some hammer. Yeah. I got a list of names that can vouch for that as well. Not surnames, but... And also, my Prosecco paunch gives me the greatest joy. This gunt, right, gives me so much joy. It's basically, when we get those 2 days of summer, I'm like, time to do all my tanning, baby. So I get a chair from the kitchen, I go and put it in the middle of my garden. I've not got garden furniture, I'm not a fucking Tory. So I put it... Another joke that doesn't go as well down south. So I put it in the middle of the garden, and that's when I get as naked as I can. I live in the countryside, right? So I don't really have neighbours. I've got one guy who can see into the garden. He's depressed. He's not looking out his window for 3 weeks. We're fine, right? So I sit there, get as naked as I can, full spaniel's ears out, right? One continuous line from spaniel ear down onto gunt. That's my look. I roll my knickers down. I suddenly get it's very precious, right? I roll my knickers down as small as I can because I don't want tan lines, actually. Ooh, no, I think it's really common. I don't want tan lines. I've got a bush like a badger, but I don't want tan lines. It's got TB as well. That's why I'm not allowed near cows. So I lie there, drinking it in, and I think to myself, you know what, I am going to get up, and I am going to go to the freezer, and I am going to treat myself to a third magnum of the day. Because I am a special princess, and I deserve it. Thank you so much, thank you. And then about 40 minutes later, I'll actually be asked to get up and do it. And as I get up and do it, this is when the Prosecco paunch really steps in, when the gunt comes into play, right? Because as I step up, I will hear the sound of my own gunt peeling off the top of my own thigh. And it's this noise. And I've realised that's my mating call. It is. I just suddenly see a row of bald heads along my fence like that. Just divorced dads were like, is that low self-esteem I can hear? Do you want to come Pizza Hut and be a mum for 2 hours? I want to say Pizza Express, but he's ruined that as well. Genuinely, I'll show you this quickly because I wore it. It's the first time I've shown it in front of an audience. I think it's so funny, this bum bag full of sand, right? I was like, if I ever had merch, right, I'd have fucking bum bags done with gunt on. Well, it's happened. Yeah, I'm on tour at the moment, right? And because so many people, I kept joking about I want to get merch with gunt on it, and so many people kept coming up afterwards and buying it, right? Trying to buy it. I was like, I fucking should get these made, right? But my fear is everyone always says they want merch and they never actually buy it, and I've ordered 1,000 of these cunts, and I'm worried I'm going to have to go back to North Wales with 998 of them, hide them in my cellar and never look at them again. Now, where I live in North Wales, you might know the island of Anglesey, very beautiful. There's a nuclear power plant there. My deepest fear is that it blows up, flattens the island, no one's allowed back there for thousands of years, and when they finally do, they wander back and go, there's an untouched cellar here. They go down there and they find 998 gunt bum bags, and they stare at them for a while and go, he must have been their king. Guilty Feminist, you've been so nice. Thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
Kiri, Pritchard-McLean, was that you finishing your set? Were you sure?
Oh yeah, I just didn't know if I had
in the wing.
I just didn't know if I was meant to go back off or not.
No, you're not meant to go back off. But okay. I had this horrible panic as I was coming on that I was like, she's just in the middle of a joke. She's landed the first laugh, and I'm literally walking.
Oh, did it not feel strong enough to close on?
That's why I started coming out. But then with the look on your face, I was like, this is so professional. Why don't we keep this in the podcast?
What? Maybe not very good at stand-up.
No, you're amazing at stand-up. No, I genuinely was like, oh my God, I thought by the look on your face you were going, don't. Anyway, the audience don't need to know this.
Imagine if we had an internal monologue.
Matthew's feeling a whole lot better at his job now. We mocked Matthew for not being a very good English teacher because he didn't know Virginia Woolf. But then it turns out, because I couldn't hear properly from the wings, I didn't know when to come on. Can I give you this?
I absolutely, and this is a phrase I had to explain to you backstage, get wide for a clipboard. Been a night of firsts for you, hasn't it? I mean... Motorboating. Maybe if you'd have done the first, you'd know the second.
I'm not saying anything else for the whole night. Got the wrong clipboard.
Oh, really?
It's been a while since I've seen you, Kiri.
Yeah.
Have you been having a feminist time or a guilty time, or both?
Ooh, interesting. I think maybe, actually probably just a feminist time. I think, because we just, when you're allowed to be feral in your own home, I think that's the most feminist you can be. Yeah, my partner went visibly grey, because he's like, I didn't sign up to whatever this is. So yeah, I feel like I've been more feminist, and not just because I've been growing my pubes out.
I know what you mean. I rather wonder if the next step for feminism is not where we start to put people's humanity ahead of their identity. If you see what I mean. Like, the whole point of fighting, the reason we fight for our identities is because we feel at times we're being treated as less than human or substandard or like... And so there's a part of me that thinks when women can reveal their fighting, fucking, hungry, joyous, terrified selves, we will have won.
Yeah, when we're all pissing standing up is what you mean. I felt like I could. You can't hear very well back there, but did I miss? Someone ran a course in it. Is that what?
Yeah.
Is that?
You really can't hear backstage, so you are just fucking guessing. Yes, you must pee downhill.
I think if you just like really, I've done it so much. And I think if you just
outdoor, alfresco, pick.
Yeah, I was a farmer's daughter. That's all I did.
Well, your whole childhood was peeing squatting.
No, standing up. Lots of standing up.
Standing up? How do you pee standing up?
You just got. That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, no. The instructions that Jill was giving us were very clearly about squatting. But what you do is if I remember it,
too vulnerable. You can pee. Don't go quiet on me. You can pee standing up if you put your mind to it and don't give a shit about your trainers.
Kiri, what do you do? How do you pee standing up? Do you take
the clues in the name?
But
right, you know how men will just go up to, or like people with a penis will go up to a fence or whatever and stand there, just like relax your hips into it, and it.
Really? But men
don't
kind of
ghost me on this. There must be someone who can vouch for me here.
Men and other people who have penises can sort of point the penis like a fire hose, though, yeah?
Oh, I'm not saying I could, like, knock a can off a fence with it. Like, it's not...
And I mean, as a farmer's daughter, you would know the fence might be electric. It would be extremely dangerous. Stay in school, kids, and don't pee on electric fences.
Someone who, as soon as I mentioned peeing standing up, has really forced their arm into the air there.
Yes. Could we please have...
Do you want to go now?
This is like a town hall. This is exactly what I was talking about. I think the town hall... Could you please advise?
When I go for a dog walk with my husband...
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is so Yorkshire. I need you to say it into the microphone.
Do you want me to translate?
Can you come down? Can you just come down and I'll give you the mic? Because it needs to start again. I don't want to be saying this into the mic with my voice. Born resistant. Absolutely not. It would be verging on cultural appropriation. What's your name? Donna. Donna, just come up.
Is this the same Donna, or are you all called Donna?
Oh, there's stairs there. Just stairs there. Okay, great. Big round of applause for Donna, everybody. Okay, we'll give Donna one of our mics and we can share. She said she wasn't going to come up on stage.
Your mate's a liar.
She's coming up pretty quickly. Donna, everybody!
Shoes off. She's gone full Joss Stone. Look at this.
Welcome.
Donna's made herself a home.
Take a seat, Donna. Take a seat there.
So, when me and my husband, we go on a dog walk, he says, do you need a wee? So I says, no.
Before you leave, right?
Before we leave.
Right.
We get up to the bit where we're going to let dog off lead. I need a piss.
So you piss out?
No, I says I'm going to hang on, because he says I'll take you home, because it's not dignified for a lady. But I ain't no lady.
Tell us more, Donna.
So, we have a German Shepherd, so everyone looks at us like we've got this man-eating beast, as it is. So we're there going, no, come back, it's not going to eat your children, it's fine. Anyway, so get back, and I go, I need a piss.
This is like what Parkinson's was like in the 70s, you know. Let anyone pissed on, be like, yeah, let's have a chat.
So I get to a quiet area, and I says to my husband, I'm going to have to go, love. And he says, right, he says, those trees look good. And then he's shouting, Donna, there's people coming. Fuck's sake. So you don't know whether to nip it, squeeze it, you don't know whether to pull your pants up, you don't know. What are you doing?
You don't know.
Don't know what you're doing.
Don't know.
So how close are they? I'm shouting, Ryan, how close are they, love? And he's going, well, they're pretty fucking close, love. You need to get your fucking knickers up. Hell, half a fucking Barbie have seen my...
Do you do stand-up comedy ever, Donna?
No.
I feel like you should. I feel like you've already got a tight 5.
Yeah.
All puns intended. Or a baggy 3.
Well, we agree now that I go for a wee before we go.
Standing up, though, Donna, can you pee standing up? Because Kiri Pritchard-McLean maintains that as a Welsh farmer's daughter, she can...
Well, I come from a farming background.
Shocking.
Why, no.
Game recognised game.
And you just know the way to do it.
Yeah.
You see people coming in the background and I'm going, Ryan, there's people, I can see them.
So, what's the technique? Because Kiri says just relax your hips.
Have you ever peed standing up, Donna?
I am doing it on stage.
No.
He'll be very upset. It's against our marital vows.
Is Brian here tonight?
Brian,
is he...
he just picks me up and drops me off. He don't get involved.
If I'm honest, Donna, I do understand. But
all 16 years.
16 years, yeah. And I mean, and still going strong though. I mean,
we've got a daughter as well. She's 12. She's born in Macon.
Is she in tonight?
No, but she will be next year.
I mean, I was sort of wishing she were, just so I could ask her some questions. But I think you're amazing, and I think she should consider.
You're really funny.
Yeah.
Really naturally funny.
Really?
How far are you from Leeds?
Well, I only live round corner. I'm not far.
Because in Leeds, you could do. I'm sure there's an open mic night. You could do that.
There's nights in York. There's night.
Is there?
Message me on social. I'll give you a list of gigs you should do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donna, everybody! Thank you. More talent.
You know, it's fine to say it. I think it's the touching that's the issue. It's all right, Donna. Is she going to get down those safely?
Stuart's with her. No, Stuart's helping.
Okay, great.
Stuart knows what he's doing.
Fucking Donna.
Yeah. If she's not co-hosting by the time we get back next year, I'll be very surprised. We told you you'd be hearing from local feminists. Probably ready for our guest.
Yeah.
That was our informal guest. We've now got a formal guest. Our guest today is a birth and postnatal specialist who is passionate about ensuring that every woman and other birthing person feels empowered in her birth experience and has continuity of care in her or their transition to motherhood or parenthood. Please welcome Melanie Robinson!
My mistake.
Yeah. I feel we should have given that to Donna to take back to a seat. I feel like she'd have good things to chip in. Now, Mel, you are a birth and postnatal specialist, and you are all about the choices of the birth experience and continuity of care for transition into parenthood. what has driven you into this? Because to be honest, for me, that sounds like a lot of bodily fluids. And it also sounds like a lot of working with a lot of very stressed, like terrified people as well. Is that true?
I don't know if they're all stressed and terrified.
Oh, sorry, that would just be me. If I just feel if you're carrying a human inside your body, I'm maybe not stressed and terrified might be too much, but like anxious at times.
Yeah, definitely anxious.
Just curious as to the future, how it might be.
Desperately downgrading now, aren't you?
The future. Okay, I would be curious as to how the human being was going to exit my body.
Yes.
That would be something on my mind.
So when we were chatting backstage, I incorrectly called you a midwife. What you do is different, right?
Yeah. So I'm a birth doula and postnatal specialist. A midwife provides medical support in maternity services, where a doula provides practical and emotional support during pregnancy, in labour and birth, and then in the postnatal period as well.
Because another thing we were chatting about, which is fascinating, because like all my mates are like dropping kids at the moment. That's what's going on in their lives. I'm like, go at it. But I didn't. Some of them, they're informed to different amounts, and some people are like, I want to be across everything, and some people are like, no, I'm in the hands of professionals. But for none of the reoccurring thing with all of them is it's never been straightforward. So, I mean, how present are you there in those different stages for people?
I think so. For me personally, it's really important to ensure that everybody is informed and is making really, truly evidence-based, information-rich decisions around what's going to be, what they're going to be involved in, and what kind of care they want for them, and what's going to be right for them. So navigating. Yeah, I was going to say navigating the medical management of maternity care is tricky. Yeah.
Somebody's got to take their pills.
Or the bin's out. Bin day. That's the only alarm I have on my phone.
Is care often imposed upon women and other people who can give birth? Are they often just told this is how it's going to be, and you have to be informed to know? You could say, oh no, actually I'd rather have it be like this, or is this an option for me? Is it often just presented as this is what's going to happen to you?
Yeah, absolutely. There is a standard medical model of care that, unless you ask for something different, is what you can expect to get.
And what's that model?
So it's at different appointments during pregnancy, different scans and blood tests and screening tests and that kind of thing, which you can decline. And then for labour, there's routine vaginal examinations, which is a real hot topic in the birth working world, where people often will want to decline that, but find that they aren't allowed, or it's very difficult for them to kind of move from one care setting in the hospital to the labour ward potentially, unless they've had a vaginal examination. So,
what's the vaginal examination meant to be doing?
So it does two things. The one is it is supposed to determine cervical dilation.
Right.
And basically that's based on a study that was done in the 1950s, which standardized normal childbirth care by a guy called Dr. Friedman, and it's Friedman's curve. So it's a graphic representation of what normal labor should look like. And so if a woman or birthing person's labour doesn't look like it's being plotted along that graph, medical intervention is then introduced to speed things up.
Oh, I see. So this is where, like, if you're watching an episode of Friends, it'll say, she's 3 centimetres dilated, she's 4 fingers dilated, that kind of thing. Yeah. Or you've given birth, one of those. It's either you've seen it on Friends or you've given birth. Or you've been...
Thank God for E4, otherwise I would not.
No. Donna, do you remember this when you were pregnant with your daughter?
No, she doesn't remember tonight.
Donna, do you remember anyone looking and going, you're this many centimetres dilated?
Well, they told me that I was 2 centimetres and to go for a walk, and then I kicked off, and my husband says she's getting angry, have a look. And gave me pethidine, I was 9 centimetres and she shot out.
So if you're listening at home, she was 2 centimetres, she went for a walk.
No, her husband
kicked
said,
off. Oh, she kicked off. Her husband said she's getting angry. Then he said, there's people coming. They're pretty fucking close. And then cut to 9 centimetres, she shot out.
Is that, I mean, that story there, because that's the other thing is, like, there is no normal, right? And especially, like, not that, like, in the 50s they were well weird, but, like, that seems like quite an archaic thing to be basing modern technology and birthing methods on. So,
Yes, it was hideous.
there we go. Donna said it was
saying
hideous.
it's absolutely hideous.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so everybody labours differently. Everybody's cervix does different things at different times. It's a snapshot of that moment if we're looking at it from a cervical dilation perspective. But if healthcare professionals are wanting to determine the position of the baby, they can often feel the soft spots on the baby's head to kind of, and that's really useful in terms of vaginal examinations, but the kind of standard plotting of the cervical dilation isn't useful. And a lot of people find that really quite traumatic and invasive. And there's a whole lot of other stuff to kind of navigate.
Someone's down there with a tape measure, basically.
No, you do it with your fingers. And we all have different size hands, and it's a guesstimation, really.
Right, so it's just how many fingers you can get in there, but you might not want any fingers in there at all if you've got a baby coming out of there, is the implication.
Yeah. So one of the things we were chatting about as well is that you were saying that there's it feels like there's a lot of medical intervention, and maybe from your perspective that's unnecessary. Is that, am I putting words in your mouth a bit there?
I think at the moment there's definitely a spotlight on medical interventions in the labour and birthing process. I think obstetric units for those people who are poorly and really need that support are fantastic. Unfortunately, we're in a model of care where healthy people are kind of having to kind of have their care provided to them with this medical model as well. And so the fallout from that is the trauma that a lot of people are experiencing.
And you said that there was a big issue with mental health.
Huge.
Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so it's obviously worsened over the last few years, but in 2019 a book was published called Why Birth Trauma Matters by Emma Svansberg, and she highlighted that 1 in 3 women and birthing people will experience an aspect of their labour and birth process as traumatic. And often it's about how they're made to feel. Often we hear people saying, oh, I wasn't allowed, or they said I had to do X, Y, or Z. And so that autonomy is taken away from them. And then if we look at things like the Embrace report, it highlights that maternal suicide is the leading cause of death in the first year postnatally in the UK.
My God.
What?
2021. So it's just...
Oh my God. That's really shocking. So then something does need to be done.
But how scary is it that the most vulnerable people in society are made to be more vulnerable? I mean, it's obvious that, you know, you give birth, you're vulnerable. You are pregnant, you're vulnerable. You're a woman, you're vulnerable. It's all adds up. And then suddenly people go, oh, what a surprise that it's all gone wrong.
And
It's horrendous.
it is, yeah. Do you think it's been sort of... Yeah, let's give Donna a clap. I want to ask if it's the pandemic has compounded those issues as well, because so many aspects of healthcare, I think, the cracks that were there have been blown wide open after the past couple of years.
Yeah, they definitely have. And like I say, so that the 1 in 3 study that was published in 2019, there are studies coming out now about the impact that the pandemic has had, but obviously it's going to have amplified 10 times. You know, it's just highlighted the challenges that maternity services, or women and birthing people were experiencing in maternity services before.
If we could give you a magic wand, Mel, what would you change?
If I had a magic wand, funding for...
Well, that won't be a problem with this government. They love funding stuff. They especially love funding stuff that doesn't affect them.
We should tell them that one of their mates is all people giving birth and they'll be fine.
If all people giving birth was the brother-in-law of someone in the cabinet, then it would be funded. But sadly, I don't think so. So funding...
Yeah, funding for more midwives, continuity of carer has been shown to be best practice, but midwives are burnt out and leaving in the droves because they just can't cope with the system. Funding for mother and baby units, and funding for more postnatal support, because once babies are born, all the focus and the attention that has been given to mothers and birthing people in pregnancy and birth disappears, and the focus is then all on the babies.
That's so interesting. And is there... got ADHD, and then I went, there's a fire exit there. Quickly, before you ask the question, count how many there are. And if you don't do that, you've lost.
Wow. I have ADHD.
Welcome.
I have also been diagnosed with ADHD, but I haven't done that. I've in fact thought, could I quickly interrupt this? I talk over Kiri now. That's what my brain has said. No, have you got a question?
Yeah.
About fire extinguishers, though.
No. It wasn't. It was about if there's something. What advice would you give to people who are expecting, or there's a birth in their future? Because I think sometimes people don't feel, especially in that situation, it must be quite hard to advocate yourself when you might be in great amount of pain or stress, or whacked off your tits on drugs. So what would you give them as a tool to take into giving birth?
Get informed. Be as informed as possible. Rally support. Get a doula. There's a doula for everybody. I think being informed and supported ensures you're empowered, and that's my tagline, really. Informed and supported is empowered.
And where can they get that information?
What information? All the
when you say be informed.
So there are fantastic social media. So there's evidence-based birth, which is kind of that's an American model, but everybody, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, how you labour and birth is going to be the same.
So evidence-based birth.
That's
follow them on social media.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else that we can go for information that's...
She's being shy because I know she's got training starting in September, but she doesn't want to say.
Yeah. So you can absolutely find me at allthingsbirthandbeyond.co.uk.
Allthingsbirthandbeyond.co.uk.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can find out options, ideas, what you can and can't say no to, what's wise, what's just something a man made up in the 50s and we still do because that's tradition. I mean, I love tradition when it comes to Christmas, but not so much when it comes to vaginal explorations.
Then you're having a shit Christmas, mate.
And on that note...
I've been on this once, maybe twice before. Every time I ruin it.
No, not at all.
Mel, is there anything that I want to ask? Is there anything you wish we'd asked and you're going to go, I wish I got to talk about that?
Yeah, so I was going to say birthrights.org, that's a fantastic source of information. AIMS is another, which stands for Association for the Improvement to Maternity Services.
Free of charge.
Is it free?
Which one?
All of these? Is all of this free?
So all the information is free. Information is always free. And there are some doulas that provide support free at the point of delivery. Others will charge. Some do bartering systems.
Bartering systems?
Yeah.
What could I give you to doula me?
You can come and paint my house.
I could come and paint your house and you'll doula me?
Yeah.
What would you give me for a gunt bum bag?
Please don't say a vaginal experience. It's all I'm asking, Kiri. It's all I'm asking. Well, listen, this is great to know that you can barter with your doula. So if you knit jumpers or something like that, you can. If you're an Etsy-style person, don't pay for a doula. I've just heard you can barter. But if you can afford a doula...
If you can afford a doula, please...
Please pay your doula and tip appropriately.
Yeah, because we need to be careful that it's not like comedians where some people go, oh, do the gig for the exposure. So it's like, pull a human out of me for the exposure.
That's actually a really good point. Feminists pay people, but also I do like a bartering system just because I think we should be... sometimes, if it's something you really want, because I think that sort of gets us around capitalism. Can you do the what, sorry?
Can I get free things for videos?
Can you get free things for doing videos? Yeah. Is that Ali? Yeah. You did, you got Prosecco. That was a classic piece of bartering. Yeah, if anyone else wants Prosecco, offer to rub Kiri's shoulders. Listen.
Don't say that. Donna's already sexually assaulted me.
It's another thing that will be cut out of the podcast. Well, listen, this has been absolutely wonderful to hear. I'm sure people all around the world are going to be listening to this, and a lot of our listeners, a certain percentage, is going to be pregnant. Is anyone pregnant right now? Just give us a cheer. Okay. Did you learn anything from this? I did, thank you. Okay. What will you be taking from it? Google a doula.
What a catchphrase.
What do you do? You work at the what?
Uni.
The uni. Well, I don't know. Can you offer a doula free night classes?
Get her one of those student rail cards. That's worth a lot, isn't it?
You cannot do that. Mel, you have been an absolutely wonderful guest. Mel Robertson, everybody! You have been an absolutely wonderful audience. Please welcome back our final act. It's the incredible Grace Petrie.
York! Have you had a wonderful time, York? I've had a wonderful time as well. I suspected I was going to have a wonderful time here tonight. I'm very, very, very fond of York. And I've only become more fond of York recently because I'm not, me personally, I'm not a monarchist, right? I'm not a monarchist. I know, surprising news, I know. But, and it's funny because when you say to people that you're not a monarchist, there are some people who, when you say you're not a monarchist, some people sort of take that to mean that what you're saying is that you've got, individual personal problems with the Queen, right? Which I do. I don't. She's just an older lady that I've not met. But Prince Andrew, he can get to fuck, right? As I believe your fine city told him fairly recently. So it feels like the right night to sing this song. I wrote this song quite a few years ago because I was thinking about not being a monarchist, and I was thinking about the national anthem that we have in this country and how I don't feel very represented by it. I know a lot of people that don't feel very represented by it. So I had to go at writing a new national anthem for Britain, and I've sent it to Downing Street, and I think we are days away from being officially adopted. This is you give it a go, this one, and you tell me if you think this would be better before the football matches. I personally think it would. It's called God Save the Hungry, and it goes like this. I an agitator? Not thinking it's cool that some were born to suffer while some were born to rule. Does that make me a traitor? Before you toss that word around, please understand that I love this land of mine. Yeah, it's true, God ain't my thing, but if he was, I'd rather sing for all of the refugees perishing in foreign seas. Those bodies washed up on the shores were fleeing our state-sponsored wars, and our leader sees nothing wrong. So I wrote him a brand new song that goes, God save the hungry, God save the poor, and God save those desperate souls whose lives were torn apart by war. God save the homeless and those with disabilities, and all the other targets of this heartless ideology. And there's a long and shameful list of folks we need God to assist. But those who sleep in palaces at night, I think they're doing all right. Britain could be greater if it had fairness at its heart. Yeah, this nation altogether is more than the sum of its parts, but they'll call you a traitor for even daring to believe a sleight of hand from those who bleed this land's right. Yeah, it's true, God ain't my thing, but if he was, I'd rather sing for all of the refugees perishing in foreign seas. Those bodies washed up on the shores were fleeing our state-sponsored wars, and our leader sees nothing wrong. So I wrote him a brand new song that goes, God save the hungry, and God save the poor, and God save those desperate souls whose lives were torn apart by war. God save the homeless and those with disabilities, and all the other targets of this heartless ideology. And there's a long and shameful list of folks we need God to assist. But those who sleep in palaces at night, I think they're doing all right. I think they're doing all right. So give me a song that won't stick in my throat. If you agree the only power we should respect is that come from a vote, yeah. Give me a song that won't stick in my throat to see our millionaire politicians say we're all in the same boat. Yeah, it's true, God ain't my thing, but if he was, I'd rather sing for all of the refugees perishing in foreign seas. Those bodies washed up on the shores were fleeing our state-sponsored wars, and our leader sees nothing wrong. So raise your voice and sing along, yeah. God save the hungry, God save the poor, and God save those desperate souls whose lives were torn apart by war. God save the homeless and those with disability, and all the other targets of this heartless ideology. And my gratitude to all the brave soldiers spinning in their grave to see the eaten mess that they've made of the sacrifice they gave to tear apart the welfare state and all that ever made Britain great. While those who sleep in palaces tonight, they're still doing all right. They're still doing all right. Thank you very much.
You have been listening to The Guilty Feminist with me, Deborah Francis-White, and my very special guests, Kiri, Pritchard-McLean, Jessica Foster-Q, and Melody Robinson, with music from Grace Petrie. The Guilty Feminist theme tune was composed by Mark Hodge and produced by Nick Sheldon. The recording engineer was Chris Sharp. The producer for The Spontaneity Shop was Tom Zielinski. Thanks to Rachel Croftman, Gina Dicio, Stuart Arnold, and everyone at the York Barbican, as well as all of you for listening. For more information about this and other episodes, visit guiltyfeminist.com.
songs. Was it Matthew, the chap we were talking to about Virginia Woolf? Yeah? The third one was her autobiography, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? All right, you Yeah, that one was for you at the back. And again. I'll entertain you all, one at a time. So I'm going to sing you a song. We're going to sing this one together. Are you up for that, York?
The Guilty Feminist is provided exclusively from Acast. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.